I'm the Rifter, and this is not necessarily a tutorial, but this is how I use a new high efficiency top load washing machine. I have got a Maytag Centennial 4.2 cubic foot top load washer. I've seen several videos where it tells you to dump water in. Well, if your washing machine is functioning properly, you shouldn't have to do that. It is going to spin your drum, and it is going to dump water in while it's spinning, so it's going to saturate your clothing. There are a lot of complaints about it not using enough water. Not necessarily this model, but just high efficiency models in general. They don't use a lot of water, and there's a reason behind that. It's not just the government. So if you bought a model that does not have an agitator, and if you don't know what an agitator is, that is an agitator right here. If your model does not have an agitator, and it's got that little hump in the bottom, which is called an impeller, your washing machine is designed to work without using a lot of water. The way it works is it will fill with the water level either even with your clothing or just below your clothing level. Now, if you buy a washing machine like this, you will most likely have to resort to pre-treating if you have stains. If you buy a washing machine with an agitator, you most likely will not have to pre-treat. It's going to wash a little better. But the impeller is going to go back and forth, and your clothes are going to more or less slop over one another using less water. The friction of your clothing is supposed to wash them. Them rubbing against each other is what is actually washing your clothes. Sounds stupid? It may be, but that is how they are designed to work. And again, you need to resort to pre-treating if you have stains. If you don't have a job where it is demanding and you get this dirty, maybe fine for you. But for the rest of us that need extra cleaning power, I recommend going with an agitator. Again, this is not a tutorial on how to properly use your washing machine. This is how I use it. So, not necessarily just for sheets, but I happen to be washing sheets right now, and the person you bought your washing machine from may say, put your clothes in your washing machine first, which is true. So now that we have our washing machine filled up with clothing, now that we got our washing machine filled, toss your soap in. Don't put it in that hole, that's for fabric softener. So you close your lid. But now that we've got this thing filled, there's a few things you need to know. If you would like to think of this as weight profiles, you can. Some of these units are going to come with a deep fill option, which mine has that. Deep water wash. Deep water wash is not going to be available on normal. It's just not. They don't make them. At least not this unit. It is not made like that. So I leave mine on auto sense, one rinse, and if you want more water, I see tutorials on people saying, you know, they keep a jug of water here and they dump it in there and saturate their clothing. You shouldn't have to do that. It is going to spin your clothes, soak them, and weigh them, and that's how it gets the proper amount of water. But if you're like me and you don't think it washes very well in that little amount of water, find your bulky sheet setting. It is going to give you more water for the same amount of weight. Just because I'm washing sheets right now, there's no law that says you have to wash sheets on the bulky sheets setting. Again, think of it as a weight profile. So I'm always going to use tap cold, and this little knob over here that says soil level, all it does is adjust time. Don't be fooled by somebody that says, hey, it's a heavier wash. No, it's not. You're dumb. It's going to adjust the time. If you want a heavy wash with Maytag, you're going to go to Power Wash. And Power Wash isn't really... It's a slightly heavier agitation, but it's going to use warm water to help get stains out. So I'm keeping mine on light because I don't want it to wash for an hour and a half. That's kind of dumb. So you just press this button once to make the whole thing start. Now if you hold this in, it is going to cancel your whole cycle. And people do it all the time. Like, well, I wanted it to open, it was in the spin cycle, so I just held this in. That cancels your cycle. You have to start all the way over. Sorry, you have to. So you press it once. And as you can hear, you can hear the motor spinning a little bit, and what it's doing is it's actually spinning the drum slightly and filling up so it's saturating your clothes. And right now, on my particular model, I can open the lid. But you see how around here it's getting wet? That's because this drum is spinning while it's filling up. If you really want to be able to open this at any time, which I'm not telling you to do this because it can be dangerous, this little thing right here, you unscrew that and shove it down in this hole, it will always act like it's locked. I did forget to mention one thing about the bulky sheet setting. It is only going to spin at a low speed, so that is going to kill the energy efficiency on your dryer. You should have a cycle that says drain and spin. Put it on drain and spin because it does a high spin and it will get more water out of your clothing, then your dryer will be more energy efficient. If you decide to do that trick, I'm not responsible for you. You also need to take that out of that hole and put it back in whenever your little light says done on there, because if you don't, it will never let you start another cycle. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe. This helped you out. If you don't like it, I don't care. That's how I use a washing machine. Bye.